I've noticed a lot of videos. Of course, I'm a YouTube subscriber, so I subscribe to a lot of channels. One thing I notice is people speaking and giving testimony sometimes. Well, I want to do that too. I definitely have many testimonies, and especially since leaving the JW organization. And today is Tuesday, so I'm thinking I want to do Testimony Tuesday. I have a lot of them, so I could do a bunch of videos. Just there's content right there if I was wondering how to make it. I'll start by saying this though. When I was in school, one thing I remember they did was they brought in this speaker. He was a former drug addict, former gangbanger. He had been through all sorts of difficulties, and he turned his life around, and he was a successful, well, speaker at least. And I remember thinking, I've seen this before. And I wasn't really all that impressed with it at the time. Now, mind you, I'm like 14. And my dad, when I was, I think, 12, took me, we lived in New York City at the time. He took me to an area where there was a lot of folks having hard times. And he said, looky out there. See what happens? Do you want that to be you? Now, this is no knock on people who have fallen on hard times. What he was trying to emphasize was because I was at the time was being lazy at school. And I was told so many times, oh, you're so smart. You have so much potential. It didn't mean anything to me. He took me there, and that made an impression on me. And I turned my academic life around. I went from a D, just, low C, D average, and that's when they were using those letters, yes, to honor roll student, because that was impressive to me. That made a big impression. Well, likewise, I'm going to give my testimony as somebody who's still on the path. I can give testimony where God has, you remember the song Amazing Grace? I am experiencing and have experienced amazing grace. And it's amazing to me because it's amazing that God would have anything to do with me. And that's because I totally missed the whole point of Jesus' ministry. And that is, he came to save the sinners. The righteous don't need saving, is what he was saying. That's why he came to save sinners. Well, hey, and to me, that's amazing. I know to you it's probably amazing as well. Well, I'll tell you one story. Growing up, my mom always had a struggle with finances. I learned financial struggle. I was comfortable in financial struggle. As a matter of fact, when times are good, if you will, financially comfortable, I'm deep down uncomfortable. So it's like, well, misery is my comfort zone. God's people were never we're not called to be miserable, but we're not called to be financially struggling either. Yet so many of us are. I've seen plenty of videos, read articles. I've even purchased some books talking about how to gain financial independence, whether through investing in real estate or money but I'll tell you, just I'll get back to that thing later. But as far as now, I want to tell you this. This is kind of burning up in me to tell you. And I prefaced this with the financial situation because I was at a point of financially embarrassment, let's say. I got one van. That's it. The car's not working. That's all. And so here, let me painting you the situation here. I'm having financial struggle. I have a car and a van. Car's not working. Can't afford to fix it. The van is working for me. It's getting us where we need to go. But the engine light comes on. And of course, I'm thinking, oh no. And I have stress inside. There's that low anxiety building, like imagine you're riding down the road and you're kind of on fumes, and that feeling you keep checking the gas. You keep, okay. Every 30 seconds you look at the needle. It's as if our gaze or constant glancing can keep it off of E just long enough for us to get this one more task done. Well, that's kind of how I was. I'm looking at the engine light. I'm feeling just empty, and despair is what I was feeling. Because I got nothing. How am I going to pay? I got nothing. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Thousands of dollars. I don't have it. Well, and a couple months go by like that. So I'm grateful for that. In the end, during those months, I see a coupon at it's a Honda, by the way, a Honda van I drive. Honda dealership has this coupon deal for brakes. Well, awesome. My brakes are sounding kind of bad. And on top of the engine light, that's another reason why I had a problem with the engine light, because the brakes were already going bad. So, all right, I'm riding, feeling unworthy to pray. But, okay, I didn't ask for help. See the coupon, brake special. It's like, this is a great deal. I got to take this. They'll at least take care of these brakes. And so, okay, I at least don't have to worry about the squealy sound. Go in, take the van in there. They take the brakes, they change the brakes, and everything's fine. Go home. I'm thinking everything's awesome. 2 days later, my tire, I'm in the driveway. The tire is flat. What? I couldn't, I don't know why. It was 2 days and then the tire just goes flat. So I'm out in the driveway I go change the tire. And I think, okay, well, I'll just put the spare on and I'll take the tire up to it. There's a tire place not too far from my home. Take the tire there. They look at the tire. They're examining the tire. I said, can you fix it? They're looking for a hole. And I was there over an hour, maybe almost an hour and a half. I'm there waiting. Funny thing, on the way to that tire shop, the spare tire that I put on goes flat. I pull it, I'm not realizing the tire is going flat. When I get there, I park the van, I go inside, I get out to take the tire out, and I look, and the spare is flat on the same wheel. I don't know what's going on. So I explained that to them. They take the tire, they're looking it over. They pull the van in and take the spare off. An hour and a half, they couldn't find a leak. They couldn't find the hole. They couldn't explain why is the tire flat. And they filled the tire with air, remounted it, and filled a spare and put it away for me. And I paid $0. They could have charged me, but they didn't. So there is hope. I guess my hope was a little bit restored that people can be actually honest. So, of course, I go take it back to the place where I had the brakes done. And I tell them, look, I don't know what happened. The tire is flat. It doesn't make sense to me, but I have a feeling something is telling me that something's wrong with that particular wheel. I said, I'm looking at this shop. I said, I'm not casting aspersions or accusations, but you need to take a look at that because something's not right. Well, they take the tire off and they take it around and they bring back pictures. Oh yeah, we found a hole. And you need a new tire. And I was going to say, oh, all right. And so they leave. And something's just eating at me. Say, hey, psst, stop. You don't need a new tire. Well, I go to the service desk and I tell them, you know what? I really can't afford a new tire. So if there's nothing wrong with it, I mean, if you check the brake, and after that, since I can't pay for a tire, just put the tire back on. And they did. Turns out there was a problem with the way that brake was put in, and I didn't know. There could have been a catastrophic failure while I'm at speed on the highway. So, that's, I guess I was going to say long story short, but I wasn't really all that sure, was it? Okay, anyway. The thing is, I was saved. They could not explain. A tire shop whose job it is to sell tires. They could have sold me a tire. They said nothing is wrong with this tire. They couldn't explain why it went flat. They couldn't explain why the spare tire went flat. And they didn't charge me. The dealership, they didn't charge me, but they fixed the brake problem. Amazing grace? Absolutely. So there's a testimony. I just want to give that one. I have many more because, now going back to the financial thing, I have done many things in my life that were just not the wisest financially. I'm learning still, but wow, the deliverance that God gives. And I was too ashamed to ask for help. And he sent tell me that wasn't an angel. Tell me that wasn't angelic. Come on. Okay, then what's your explanation if you don't want to believe it's an angel? Oh, that's pure coincidence. Right. I don't think so. So I'm just putting out this one testimony. I'm going to have a lot of other videos. I can just give my testimony. And the reason why I say I want to do that is because I'm not somebody who's, I'm all saved and I have no more problems. I still have problems. So as I get my grace from time to time, I want to share that and then be an encouragement. I know, yes, as an ex-JW, yes, I am. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was for a while. I stayed away from doing videos because I felt I have no right to speak to anybody. But that Watchtower organization is going through a lot of changes, and there are many people who are leaving. You may be one who's considering leaving if you're in there. And if you have left recently, you didn't make the wrong decision. But, what I have to learn and have learned, this is one thing I have learned. Anger does not help. Acting out of anger actually gives the enemy food. I'm in the process of writing a book about all that I've learned, putting everything down that I've learned, that God has given me His grace. Whew. And it's been right in the Bible the whole time. It's right there. And there's one particular passage in the New World Translation, not in any other translation, that is crucial. Who knew, right? I would have been bashing Watchtower. I threw away the old, and UJWs or XJWs, you would know what I'm saying when I say this. I threw away my large print copy of the Silver Sword, when I found out something about that, who helped do the translation of the original one. Oh man, I got some stories. So I pray the Father give me life and continue and bless my efforts so I can come back and we can share. All right. In the meantime, God bless. Take care of yourself.